He's just turning on.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's regular board meeting. Today is October something or other. 13th, thank you. October 13th, 2025. Let's see, I'd like to call this meeting to order. And the roll call, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Trish Robertson,
Here.
Vice Chair Marisela Pacina, Chairman Travis Manning,
Here.
Trustee Manuel Godina,
Here.
and Trustee Andrew Butler.
Trustee Pacina asked to be excused from this evening's meeting. So if you would please join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, approval of board meeting agenda postings, Madam Clerk.
Chairman Travis Manning and trustees, I request the approval of the regular board meeting and executive session agenda posting for Monday, October 13th, 2025. The agenda was posted on Friday, October 10th, 2025 at 5 p.m. The agenda was posted at the following locations: Caldwell School District website and the Caldwell District office.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Chairman Manning, I'd like to make a motion to approve and accept the agenda posting for Monday, October 13th, 2025.
Motion by trustee Godina. Do we have a second?
Second.
Trustee Butler, the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Dr. French, Superintendent Report.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Manning. Just a couple of items. One, we are working with our CEA partners in order to set up an IBB work session. And we are still communicating about the negotiated agreement, master agreement, and just wanted to let you know that we haven't concluded, but we'll continue that conversation. And then last week was a really exciting homecoming week for Caldwell High School. And it was great to be a part of that. Just some of you are hopefully caught some candy after the, during the parade. That would be, a lot of it was being thrown out. And then also just to let you know, I'm visiting at the parade, we were visiting with Mayor Wagner, and we have several students this week who are participating in the Mayor's Youth Advisory Council. They are in Washington, DC. So when they get back, we will check with the mayor and see if some of them could give us a report. That's knowing that we have student representatives here to give us an update. That's where I will conclude.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. French. Okay, we move on. Kaysen Obregon from Caldwell High School. Thank you for coming to tonight's meeting. Appreciate your attendance and participation.
Thank you, Chairman Manning, Dr. French, and esteemed trustees. I am bringing the board report for September 2025, as well as this week and the previous week's report of October as well. So we're going to go over the academics, athletics, activities, just to reiterate what Nick Mendez said: if it's not broke, don't fix it. First, I want to begin with academics. Now, this past month has been more geared towards the activities and the athletics portions, so there isn't very much to cover with academics. Other than that, Teacher Cadet is finally back. It had a year hiatus due to the levy, and Dr. French was actually one of our keynote speakers, our main speakers, teaching us what it means to be an educator and what it means to be a part of the school district. We went from just 7 to 9 students in the Teacher Cadet class to having a hefty handful, maybe 20. That's almost 20 students that actually want to be educators. Many of them, a good respectable amount, want to be elementary school educators, which is something that we kind of didn't really expect. But it was kind of nice to see, most days that they're doing their internship, they're actually going to elementary schools in the district to tutor rather than tutoring high school students. They're actually really getting into that, what they're going to be doing in life. Next, FAFSA opened up. If you have any students that are in the school district that haven't filled out their FAFSA forms, I would get on that now. It's a great peek to what college application process will be like. The Roar has gotten bigger and way better. It went from just a small handful of students to 30 publishers, editors, and illustrators all working for the school newspaper. I can see Trustee Robertson has one of the Roar newspapers, which I took a peek at it before the new issue came out, and I think it's a very wonderfully written piece. And then finally, college acceptances are already being thrown out. I'm sure your students have known some people who've gotten some college application acceptance letters. Joanna Reyes, Yasmin Marroquin, and Leslie Medina Robles have all gotten accepted into BSU. Jacqueline Aguirre has gone into NNU, and my safety colleges have even emailed me back into acceptance. Further on, we have the athletics. Now, back at our last meeting, I mentioned Camus Book set a record, and that record was only a 3% margin of the previous record set by Cruz Flores. In that time, Camus Book has set the record twice, again by a small margin of a couple seconds, and then the third time he did it by a whopping 19 seconds. Now, if you don't run and you don't know what that means, imagine going in the gym one day and lifting 50 pounds, and then a week later you come in throwing 200 pounds over your head. So we believe, Andy De La Cruz believes that Camus Book has the opportunity to set Cottle High School on the national scale with Camus's speed and Camus's resilience and strength. Boys soccer has headed to districts. Sadly, they were beat by Oahe, but tonight at 8 o'clock, I would definitely stay tuned because they are going against Timberline. And then girls soccer has also made it to districts. A long tiring season has paid off. I know some of them were kind of different when they made it to districts, but a lot of them are really happy to finally have a chance. Their next game is at Valley View, which got whooped by Skyview, so we definitely have a chance against Valley View. Our next series of athletics was the homecoming game, and we had a hard-fought game during that. It was, I believe 9-29, which, given a Cabo record, that's pretty good. And one thing I mentioned to Gary John, there has to be some small sacrifices where you have some big wins, and a pretty big win is actually Jonathan Banos. He was the brother of Noe Banos. They were both extremely talented track superstars, and Johnny Banos is actually 6th in the state for interceptions in football. That is a pretty big achievement to make for Caldwell, 6th in state net recognized anything, so Johnny has a pretty talented future ahead of him. Next, we have Unified Sports. This was a mentoring program that was introduced last year. We have athlete mentors taking on the special needs classes and doing sports with them because we believe that nobody should be left behind at Cuttle High School. They just got done with bocce ball and mentoring, and they placed 2 teams at first at Boise High School, kind of breeding out all the other teams there. And then girls volleyball is at districts. Their first game is this Saturday against, I forget. FFA participated in their Fill the Boot. Now, this is a long-standing tradition that FFA has had. They stand outside a DMB or any local business, and they just stand there with their boot asking people to fill it with money. Now, this activity goes to their nationals, their state, their regionals, anything that they can go to for further trips. I heard they had a very successful boot filling. I just couldn't get enough information from Mr. Rule in time. I kind of asked him on such short notice, so that's no fault of his own. And then a student council for the 11th year in a row has gotten an OSC. 13 schools were awarded an OSC out of 22. If you recall, whenever Nick Mendez reported it, an OSC is an outstanding student council, and it just means that Cottle High School is one of the best student councils in their participation, and they're enforcing a respectable environment and personality, a school personality that the state has officially recognized Cottle High School as one of those best schools, as the best school when it comes to that environment. And our student council is working every single day you've seen during homecoming to make an amazing environment for our students to be in. And then Babe Vote actually committed a voter registration drive. Babe Vote is a nonprofit, nonpartisan political organization that focuses solely on voting rights. We registered voters on September 15th. We handed out these stickers. They were for National Voter Registration Day. 9 students registered to vote, which is pretty big given that it's really early into the year. Not many students actually have their birthdays or turn 18. And I see there are some students from government classes in this room, so I'd like to say that at Caldwell High School, you get 30 points of CIA if you register to vote. In order to register to vote, you have to be 18 or turn 18 by the nearest election that you're registering for. And so that was an amazing opportunity to partner with the Caldwell School District from Babe Vote as a representative from there to be able to register so many students and make sure that there are educated, civic-minded leaders in our community. Another activity was the homecoming week and homecoming dance, and I forgot to mention that the reason why all these photos look so amazing and good is because I stole them from Miss Watts. She's the reason why all these photos look so nice. We had our dress-up days. Some of our dress-up days were inspired by our kindergarten, elementary school dress-up days during homecoming week, crazy hair day, Dr. Seuss pajama day. Those really nice things that we recollect being in elementary school here at the Caldwell School District that kind of made. I know Miss Lane was the reason for some of those, inspiration for some of those dress-up days when she was a principal at Van Buren.
Sir.
We had our homecoming assembly and parade. Cheer gave, I think, an amazing, awesome performance there. I know Dr. French was there, Madam Watts was there watching. I believe Miss Langen was at the assembly too. In the parade, we had Miss Langen, Miss Watts taking photos, and Maricela and Dr. French there as well. And then Latinos in Action participated in their own dress-up days and their own Spirit Week for a Hispanic Heritage Month. It is the prerogative, the responsibility of LIA and FHLA to kind of partner together and create an environment where Latino and Hispanic youth are recognized, especially during Hispanic Heritage Month. We had dress-up days that were tailored to specific icons. There was a Como la Flor Day given all over to Selena. And bright colors and vestiges. And then in front of you is the Loteria tablet that LI has created. Students have to participate in a scavenger hunt, and when they turn in those Loteria tablets, there is a chance for them to win a $10 Dutch Bros gift card or bags of candy. And so that was something that we wanted to do to mobilize recognition of our Hispanic youth in Caldwell High School. If you find yourself inside the school building at any point, just look for those cards in educators' rooms and you can check it off and get a signature from that teacher, and I'm sure we'll let you play as well. And that's the end of the Caldwell High School board report. Thank you so much.
Yeah, any questions for Mr. Obregon? Thank you, good sir. Excellent job. Okay, next from Canyon Springs High School, we have Brooklyn Longest. Is it Longest, or is there any other pronunciation that I may be missing? Maybe when you come to the mic, you can just clarify that for us. I hate to mispronounce stuff.
It's longest.
Okay, just like it looks. All right.
Thank you, Board of Trustees, Chairman Manning, and Superintendent Dr. French. My name is Brooklyn Longest, and I'm here to represent Canyon Springs. Wait. I forgot. Wait. Oh, there we go. Oh, this is August's presentation.
That was the one that I got off the last meeting.
Oh.
I have an updated one you can send.
Can you do that real quick?
Okay. We've got a minute.
Okay, so here is Canyon Springs rundown for September. So PBIS incentive for September was a movie day where each student got to represent ROAR, which is where we show being respectful, embrace opportunities, accepting all, and exhibiting responsibility. And students earn these, and we got to fill up a bucket. And once we filled up that bucket, the whole school got a movie day. Student council made popcorn and handed out some candy. We had senior breakfast. Student council figured why not have mm, why not have a senior breakfast? So it went decently well. Not many students showed up. We had tons of leftovers, but it was fun overall. Lifetime sports. Mr. Green takes his lifetime sports students to the Caldwell Bowling every other Wednesday for a few weeks, and the Caldwell Bowl has been really helpful with Mr. Green's lifetime sports class and giving them those trips. We also entered the cardboard kayak race. Student council spent a lot of time and dedication of making our raft. We did end up winning second place. It was a really fun event. I say it went really well. We also had field day. Students got to go out, play with a parachute, have some volleyball, paint rocks. We had a lot of different activities. It was a pretty fun day, really hot outside, so it was a good day overall. Our Miss Mitchell, our teacher, took her students on a trip to the Boise Art Museum. She was going to do it last year, but unfortunately couldn't get that done. But her students this year got to experience it. From what I've heard, it was a pretty fun museum. Had some pretty good artworks. We had our first graduate, Xander. I don't know him personally, but he was a pretty funny student from what I've observed. But he's one of Canyon Springs' first graduates this year. Badminton tourney. Mr. Green, every season has a different tournament. We have a basketball one that just happened today, which will be in next month's presentation. So looking forward to those reports. But I don't know anything else other than that we had badminton. But we also were invited to Caldwell High's Hoco Parade. We spent the last minute decorating our float, but I say it turned out really cute. We went with our school colors and decided to wrap it into a Halloween theme since it's October. So, yeah, it was pretty fun. Go Team Therapy Dogs came and visited us again. From what it looks like, we had a few new puppies show up, but Queso's one that we saw last in September. But students are loving the Go Therapy Dogs. I say it's a good, like, relaxation time students get during lunch and to go visit some cute little furry animals. Drone races. Our science teacher, Mr. Scoville, had miniature drones and figured why not have a drone race. So each mentor class got a drone and we had to do different obstacle courses. And to get to the next course, there was in poetry, math, and then there was squats. It was some kind of exercise, but we had to pass each station to get to the next finish. But I said it was pretty fun. A lot of people kept getting chased by drones. One of our Mr. Morrison, our government teacher, his ended up crashing into a wall. So it was pretty fun. I'd say the students had an amazing time. What to be looking forward for next month's presentation is Trunk or treat. Canyon Springs will be hosting trunk or treating during parent teacher conference on October 30th. We also have a few more people coming and visiting us, but this was some last minute information I got. But we have trunk or treating. We also, our next incentive for PBIS is mentor classes with the most roar tickets in their bags. In the front office, they have bags with their pictures on it, and the classroom that gets the most will win a class prize. So far, no mentor class has won yet, but I think the students are really liking the incentives. I see a lot of participation in them. And Spirit Week, the week before Halloween, Canyon Springs is going to be having a dress up week. We have pajamas on Monday, the 27th. Teachers dress like students and students dress like teachers on Tuesday, October 28th. On the 29th, Fall Day, where we wear colors like black, orange, reds, and yellows. Well, probably not reds, but fall colors. And on the 30th, we are doing a fundraiser for student council. $3 to wear a costume, school appropriate. Last year, it got a lot of participation. I honestly thought it was a good idea before I was even in student council then. And October 31st, there is no school. So I bet a lot of students are happy about it because it's Halloween. But so far this year, the second month of the school year, we have earned 282 credits. Students are really cracking down their credits. A lot of them are wanting to graduate, especially some early, but I say 228 is a lot better and a lot from last month. But thank you for inviting me out for tonight's meeting. May I please excuse myself after? Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Do you have any questions, Trustee Robertson? Okay.
It's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a good night.
Thank you, Brooklyn. Nicely done. Nicely done. Okay, patron inputs. Ms. Watts. Okay. Consent agenda. At this time, I would take a motion to approve the consent agenda. Unless any trustee wants to pull any items for further consideration.
Chairman Manning, I move to approve the consent agenda as itemized.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by trustee Butler, second by trustee Godina. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the consent agenda is approved. No items pulled, information only, the plant facilities report. We're gonna review that, Dr. French, or
Yeah.
what do you want to do? Okay. Mr. Carrera.
Chairman Manning, trustees, Dr. French, handed out something this to you earlier. Apologize, it was not the correct, so. So that's just the right.
Oh, yeah.
That was the proof better that we had, so that will be the. What will be,
Oh, that's the logo.
Oh,
Okay.
that looks different than.
yeah, yeah.
That looks great.
We trusted you.
I'll make sure you knew what was coming. All right, so that has to do with the signage. We were getting the signage, that's why it said Canyon Springs first. I submitted it all at the same time when we were doing Canyon Springs signage. Theirs is complete now. So this will be the last part of the sign project as far as signatures goes. Syringa, tomorrow we have another walkthrough with the construction managers to look at the library roof and the skylights to get a little bit more in depth before we get final pricing. So that will be happening tomorrow afternoon. And we'll continue to get information and wait for the numbers from Benetton Construction. 1502 Fillmore, the punch list. Pretty much all we've got left is the curbing. And we've just been trying to get a concrete curb contractor over there to finish up, but everything else is pretty much done. We're just waiting for him to finish up in the little sidewalk area there. District wide, closing up for winter, turning down the pumps. The water's mostly off throughout the different facilities in the district. There's a few more to go down. Once they do, we'll get the blowout going and we'll get all the ice melt and everything staged for this winter. So.
Mr. Carrera, does it seem like it's sooner and sooner each year that
Yeah.
winter comes?
It goes very quick, very quick. Oh, boy.
Okay, any questions from the trustees? Any updates from the, did you guys do maybe that was, you guys did a plant facilities thing. That wasn't necessarily a facilities meeting you guys had recently, right? A week or two ago, something like that.
Yes, we met with the committee.
Okay,
And Chairman Manning and trustees, we would be happy to speak about our conversation at the work session if you would like. We received an update on the Syringa construction plan for the HVAC and heat and roofing. But if you'd like, we can add that to the agenda for October's work session.
sure,
Okay,
great.
and,
Right.
right.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Bernie.
Okay, we move to the regular agenda. 2024-25 annual audit. Ms. Anderson, I presume. Dr. French is gonna, Ms. Anderson, okay.
Thank you, Chairman Manning and trustees. I really want to just introduce Kurt Folke, our independent auditor. He's online with us and he's prepared to present and answer any questions you have on our 2024-25 financial audit for your approval.
Okay, great.
All right, thanks, Cheryl. Am I coming through okay for everybody?
Yes, you are.
Excellent. Well, good evening, trustees. Cheryl said, my name is Kurt Folke. I'm with Quest CPAs, and we performed the financial statement audit there for you. I believe you have in your packets. I'll see if I can screen share it. If I can't, no big deal. Looks like I sent a request in, so it might be available. Wonderful. All right, picture's worth 1,000 words. So here we are. Okay, so got the audit here on screen. Before I jump into that for you, just like to let you know that the audit did go very well. We do appreciate Cheryl and the whole finance team and their good work on having the books and records in good shape and pulled together in a timely manner so we could get the audit pulled together for you folks and to be able to go over it well before the deadline. So again, thanks for their good work. Here in the audit, there is 3 reports. They're from us as the auditors to you as the trustees. First one is on pages 1, 2, 3, and 4. Very long, very lengthy report, but all it's telling us right there is that based on our audit, we believe the numbers that we'll look at here in just a moment are accurate and we can rely upon them to make decisions. There's a second report here in the back on pages, let's see, 41 and 42. And the second report, it's just simply saying that while we're doing the financial statement audit, we're also looking to make sure that your school district has the basic internal controls and compliance that school districts are required to have in the state of Idaho. And if we notice things are wrong with those or that they're missing or not operating like they should, we report findings. The findings would be reported here in the center section. There are no findings here this year. So that's a good thing, but if there was, we'd go over those and then you as the trustees would take action on those. The last report is on pages 43, 44, and 45. It's simply highlighting the fact that your school district spent in excess of the federal single audit level, which for fiscal 25 was $750,000. Going forward here into fiscal 26, they've increased that to $1 million and above. And when that happens, you have additional federal schedules that get added in here that highlight what that federal spending is. It's a bunch of very small numbers. Sorry, it's not wanting me to zoom in. But anyway, lots of, quite frankly, not super exciting information. But anyway, it has to get compiled. It gets sent on to the federal government, and they can kind of track the spending in the various federal programs.
All right, those are the reports. A little bit more interesting is how you performed financially for the last fiscal year ended June 30th, 2025. That's best summarized on page 10. Again, sorry the numbers are a little bit small, but I will read off the relevant or the important numbers here in case they're hard to see. Here on page 10, we're kind of looking at a summary of the revenues at the top, the expenditures in the center, and then the third figure from the bottom, that is telling us whether we had a positive or negative year in each one of these funds. And then the very bottom figure, that's our ending fund balance or carryover in each of these funds that we're now coming into this new fiscal year. So very briefly, starting in that left column, the general fund, third figure from the bottom, sorry, I'm hitting all kinds of numbers here. Third figure from the bottom shows that we took a drop or a decrease of $2,110,010 this last year in our general fund. You folks did predict that, you did budget for that. With a decrease in enrollment that has negatively affected our revenue, and it basically resulted in that decrease this year. You actually did a little bit better than you budgeted, but it did result in that loss. And that loss brought our ending fund balance, excuse me, or carryover down to the bottom figure, which is $9,387,637. We kind of have to put that in terms of an operating reserve because it might be a big number or it might be a little number, all depending on what we go through each month. And that $9.3 million is now approximately a 2.5 month operating reserve. The kind of golden ticket or golden number you want to be at is a 3-month operating reserve because you get funded by the state every 3 months, August 15th, November 15th, and onwards. So we're now below that 3-month mark. So we want to do everything we can as we move into this new budget year to kind of get that built back up. Because when we don't have the full 3 months, we're kind of skating on thin ice as far as, cash flow. So again, not too terribly below the mark, but we definitely want to do everything we can to be very careful as far as incurring anything extra or more than normal until we can get ourselves back up to that safer 3-month mark. We were at that in the past. It was just, sorry, go ahead.
I've got a question for you. So can you talk just a little bit more about that, the fund balance and why the 3% is sort of the industry standard, I guess. And I know that the legislature pushed back on that. They say that, districts have all this money. What are your thoughts about that?
No, very good question. Very good question. And so the 3 months is not something that is coming directly from how often you get funded. So you get funded again by the state approximately every 3 months. By example, August 15th is your first payment. The next big payment from the state comes on November 15th and onwards throughout the year, about every 3 months. And so again, we want to make sure we have 3 months of cash or operating reserve in our general fund so that once we get paid from them, we can last for 3 months, be able to pay all the salaries, all the benefits, all the supplies, the materials, the light bill, everything else for that 3 months. And so that's the reasoning why we want to have it. We want to be able to cash flow from payment to payment. As far as the legislature, you are correct. There are a number of school districts in the state that have far above a 3-month operating reserve. There's in fact, the average, we audit over 120 school districts and charter schools in the state, and the average that we saw last year was closer to 4 months. So I'm not sure exactly what the legislature is looking at. Sometimes you get more of a knee-jerk reaction from them. They're more spotlighting. There might be, a specific school district they're looking at that had a, say, 11-month fund balance or a 13-month fund balance, and that might rub them the wrong way. Whereas as a rule of thumb, they've decided to fund schools every 3 months. Again, they pay, August 15th, November 15th, February 15th, and onwards. And so just from the basic cash flow principle, we need to be able to have enough cash to last between those payments. So did I answer that okay for you?
That's great. Thank you.
You bet. It's a really important question. So thanks for asking that. Next fund here to the right is the Child Nutrition Fund. And this one, it did, as you can tell, third figure from the bottom, a decrease $887,539 this year. Every school, we finished our 100th audit today for school districts and charters here in the state of Idaho. Every single one of those that had child nutrition funds have had losses. So this is not just Caldwell School District. This is every single one. And it's not a surprise. You know, if you go to the grocery store, it's pretty easy to tell why. Food prices have skyrocketed, labor, insurance costs have went up, and yet we haven't got a huge increase on the lunch prices. So obviously that hits the bottom line, is causing decreases. The good news is at your school district, you had a big enough fund balance that you were able to absorb all that without having to kick anything in from the general fund. And you have about one more year's worth of that. You have about another 876,000. Now, I'm not saying we want to go through it all, but I'm saying that's what we have in terms of looking forward. So hopefully we'll be able to do what we can to kind of shore that up, but I do not expect to be, you know, for any school to be able to get back to break even in the short term until we can see something change on a large level on the revenue side. Because unless the, you know, food prices really decrease, which I think would be wishful thinking. Next fund to the right, your bond fund. Bond fund had a very large decrease this year, 2 million or 2.3 million and change. That was not a surprise because you did not levy knowing that this was your final bond payment. So you didn't need to levy. You were saving taxpayers money with that. And you were essentially making your final bond payment and getting as close to break even as you could, which based on your size in this fund, you did very good. You have about 448,000 left. You can leave that in that fund for your next bond, which I believe is the concept. If not, ultimately, it would be transferred to the plant facility fund. But I believe the plan right now is to leave it there in the bond fund for the future. And then lastly, on the far right, your plant facilities fund, you'll see this one did have a decrease after essentially the projects that you paid out and whatnot this year, $498,000 increase. And you have a reserve moving forward for other projects, $2,076,498. Last thing to touch on real quick on page 11, left column, School District Modernization Facilities Fund. This is a new fund and new program for school districts for fiscal 25. You probably remember about a year ago, legislature was talking about how the state was going to go out and bond for $1 billion or approximately $1 billion and spread that out across the school districts for modernization purposes. Your piece of that $1 billion was this second figure from the top, $22,519,130. And then essentially, as you know, you spend this down over the next 10 years based on your facility plan that you kind of developed. So you spent a little bit of it last year, 471,000, but obviously the vast majority of it you have still left going forward to spend. So that's what's going on in that fund. All your smaller funds are doing just fine. No deficits, no overspending or anything of that nature. So that was pretty high level. Is there anything you'd like me to go into more detail or any questions I could address for you?
Any question for Mr. Folke, trustees? Thought it was great that we had no findings, so that's excellent. Appreciate that, the financial management from the district's perspective, so thank you. All right, Mr. Folke, I don't believe we have any further questions for you. Thank you for coming to tonight's meeting.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
You too. Okay, back to the regular agenda, ABM contracted services, Dr. French.
Chairman Manning, I believe this is an action item.
I believe you're correct.
Okay.
All right, can I have a motion, trustees?
Chairman Manning, I move to approve the audit. Is that what we're doing? Approving and accepting the audit for 2024-2025 annual audit.
Okay, motion by trustee Butler. Do we have a second? Second. Trustee Robertson with the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. ABM contracted services, the next item on the agenda.
Chairman Manning, trustees, we'd like to request, approval of a contract with ABM. We have Mr. Carrera and Ms. Sanderson to speak to the reasons why we would like to pursue this contract.
Remaining trustees, Dr. French, as you know, in the past, we've struggled to keep custodial staff over the summer. We hired ABM to come in and assist us with custodial services over the summer while we needed it. Coming into the new year, we've put out, the postings have been posted. We've done interviews. We've tried to staff up the best we can, but we're still lacking some positions that we're looking to contract, and that's what the contract would be covering. We're currently looking at 6 full-time night custodians to come in. The contract is shows those 6 would start November 1st to October 31st. They would come in and take the positions that are not filled right now. So nobody would be losing their jobs. Everybody still have their same position as the night custodians. It was just a matter of coming in and filling those empty positions until otherwise. Based on what the cost we got back, and clarify the cost, it was saving money because the Percy and the other benefits that were being given. This will be saving money for those 6 positions. So we're looking to start within the next 2 weeks. If you approve this, we'll work on getting those positions filled.
Trustee Manning, I would just like to comment that we have truly had open positions for the last 18 months. And we've had a lot of concern and complaints about the cleanliness of our buildings. And I think this is right now is our best solution to be able to bring our buildings up to the standard that we all are really striving for. It has put a huge burden on our existing staff, the current custodials, the day staff, and I think that's contributed to our turnover as well. So we do believe that this will be the benefit to the district, help balance out the workload, and bring the buildings up to the standard that we truly need.
Question from the trustees.
I have a quick question.
Trustee Roberts.
So is this contract, so you say it's starting like November 1st and having the 6 people in place? And then does this go 12 months out of the year, or what happens during the summer?
I think what we do have a 12-month rolling. So in order for ABM to hire and to staff, we've agreed to go for 1 year, which would put it through the summer.
Okay.
And hopefully help us with that. And it would give us time then to evaluate additional needs and how well to distribute between the buildings.
Well, and there may be some things that kind of got left undone because of 18 months that could be focused on, scaling up.
Yes, I think that was the benefit this summer is bringing them in that allowed us to do the deep cleaning with the remodeling and the move of Canyon Springs. We really were behind in being able to get the buildings open on time. And, we had some pretty major changes to Syringa Middle School with the carpeting, things like that. And ABM was able to bring staff in, get a little bit familiar with our facilities and our actual scope of work. And so I think this will be a benefit to us. They work with several districts, both here in the Valley as well as Cassia County. And we do have a statewide contract that allows us to participate or piggyback off that contract. So I think it's a really good way for us to evaluate and see what services they can provide and to supplement their existing staff.
Thank you.
Okay, any further questions?
Chairman Manning, just a quick question. How many total custodians do we have in our district that we're keeping? Ballpark?
Me, 25, I believe.
Right, that's okay. Just a ballpark, yeah. You could have said 5 and I would have believed you.
0.5 throughout between head custodians and night custodians. So some schools have one head custodian, one night custodian. Some have one head custodian and up to 4, 5 night custodians. Just depends on the size of the school. So each school is a little bit different. The junior highs and high school have the more manpower. They're the little bit larger.
Sure.
So we're looking to increase those numbers to make it easier on the head custodian in those locations. So we're using their manpower, and this will help be able to move people around to
Yeah.
maximize the best crews that we can get.
Good. And you said we're keeping all of them, so.
Yes, everybody
that's-
will be.
That's great.
What we're hoping to do is keep the contract services together, so it's easier to manage and not be spread out throughout the district. So those individuals would just go and fill in the empty positions that are open right now, but
Okay.
nobody would be asked to leave.
Jobless.
So be given another school.
Okay,
And more
that's
than
great.
likely it'd be not as big as the high school, so.
Sure, yeah.
So we're looking at the different crews and different personnel. It's just a matter of where the best fit will be.
okay. And they're not taking any, away from any of the, I see here that they performed some, security and safety stuff as well. I was just perusing through it, and they're not taking away from our security.
No, not
Yeah,
at all.
right now.
They're just there because we had to put that in there because they are there in the evening time.
Okay.
If there's an alarm, they need to answer to.
Oh,
But
gotcha.
they aren't taking anything away from anything that anyone's doing.
Okay, they're just adding to it.
Their status, no.
Okay,
It's just a matter of clarifying, when you're there, you're not just cleaning. If
got
the
it.
alarm goes off, you need to.
Yeah.
Or if there's security,
Okay.
you need to report to somebody.
Okay.
So we had to put those things into the scope of work. So
Okay,
those things are addressed.
thank you for clarifying.
Okay, any further questions? Okay, this is an action item, so I would take a motion at this time.
Chairman Manning, I move that we accept the ABM contracted services agreement.
Okay, motion by trustee Robertson. Do we have a second?
Second,
Tico, any further questions, comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, number 3, in God We Trust, action item, Dr. French.
Yep, Chairman Manning and trustees. So this was brought to the board, the trustees, last month. And this is in regards to the In God We Trust banner that Miss Jody Arnold has offered, is willing to purchase or donate to our schools. And Miss Arnold is here this evening. The question the trustees had was the size of the banner, and the size will be a maximum of 24 inches by 24, so 2 feet by 2 feet. If you have questions, Ms. Arnold is willing to answer, or if there were other questions regarding the In God We Trust banners. I have, as part of your board packet, I've included the Idaho Code and an example of what the banner poster would look like.
Okay, any questions from the trustees? Okay, seeing none, I would take a motion to approve the In God We Trust banners.
Chairman Manning, I move that we accept the donated In God We Trust banners for the different schools.
Okay, motion by trustee Robertson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Trustee Bell, have a second. Any further conversation, questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Appreciate it. ISBA superintendent search. Katie Russell, are you here? Are you in the house?
I think we got those.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got them, all right, yeah.
Thank you.
Good evening, trustees, Dr. French, thank you for having me again today. I'm excited to be here sharing a little bit about our superintendent search program. I don't know if you want me to go over really what I went over last time for those who are unable to be here, or just answer more questions. What would you prefer?
We have two trustees that were absent, so what would you prefer? Trustees Butler and Godina.
I'd actually like to hear what was said.
Sure,
last
absolutely.
meeting.
Yeah, so ISBA offers a superintendent search service as part of your membership to our association at a highly discounted rate compared to other superintendent search services. So we have three separate options, and I will just go over them really quickly here. So we've got our first option, which you can find all of the pricing and information on those on the very back side of this packet here. The first option is our marketing of opening, and I like to call this a partial search. So what we will assist you if you were to hire ISBA would be, if you look in this packet, would be steps 1 through 5. So basically, we help you with the application creation, brochure, kind of all of the promotional materials that go with helping promote your superintendent search, all the way up to when you are collecting applications. We have an online application portal. It's called Revelis, that we will assist you in collecting all of the applications throughout the time that you're collecting applications. ISBA's staff, myself, or some of our other staff members will go in and we will be reviewing applicants, checking to make sure their application is correct, that they've provided all of the materials the board has requested. We'll point out any red flags, things like that, and get the materials prepared for your review once the application is closed. And then finally, with this first option, we will come into a future board meeting. We will present all of the applications to you, share all of our findings about all of the candidates. We don't take any candidates out or remove any candidates. We present you with every applicant that we find, because we believe that you are the best representation of your community, and we want to ensure that you're being provided all the information. But we do all of the research on these candidates, make sure that, they have their superintendent certificate, they've provided valid transcripts. We also this year are excited. We are partnering with a background checking company. They are called Baker Eubanks, and they will be assisting us with providing background checks as well as social media searches of each of the candidates. So the background checks will be done just the final candidates, but the social media searches will be done on all of the candidates. And what this does is they provide us with their social media accounts, and then it also will search the internet for any kind of news media, and it pulls any information, and it provides us with a very unbiased presentation of everything that it finds about them on the internet, so that we can present you with any possible red flags that may come up in the search. So that's the first option. The second option is what I like to call the full search option. This is option 1, so everything I mentioned in option 1, plus the remainder of the search. So we will come in, assist you at the application review meeting, and then we will assist you with whatever your next process looks like. Maybe you have enough candidates that you don't feel confident that you can narrow it down to finalists right away, so you want to do a semi-finalist kind of step. We will help you figure out what that best looks like, whether it's Zoom interviews, further reviews of their applications, reference calls, things like that. And we will assist you in whatever way you need with that. And then we move on and assist you with the final interviews, district visits, community forums, staff meet and greets, whatever the board decides to do in that regard. We're on site for all of this. Again, we're not here helping you, making any decisions for you or doing any of that. We're here to make sure that you feel confident in your role as board members to hire the next superintendent and ensure that they're the right fit for your district and community. So myself or staff members will be at your district. I moderate forums a lot during the finalist interviews. I help make the schedule of events, help ensure that candidates are getting to and from A to B, and just ensuring that everything is going smoothly for you so that you can hire someone. We also assist with reference checks if that's what the board chooses. So we do this a few different ways. Sometimes boards will choose to have ISBA do all of the reference calls for them, and then we report back to you what we find. Sometimes boards want to make their own reference calls. And if that's the case, then we kind of create a call assignments for the board so that everyone knows who they're calling and there's no one calling duplicate references, things like that. Or we can do a mixture of both based on people's availability. Like I said, we're kind of here just to help ensure that this is an easy and smooth process for you. And then finally, our third option is that full search. Plus at the end, once you've hired your next superintendent, you're feeling excited and ready for what they're going to bring to your district, we will come in and do what we call a team building workshop. And we recommend that this happens about 90 days after they've started. So in the summer to early fall, that you bring ISBA's consultants in and we'll conduct a workshop with you that we kind of help the board and the new superintendent get on the same page. So we ask the board what are you looking for in your superintendent? What is your superintendent looking for from the board? How can you communicate well? And what we find with this workshop is that it helps really get everyone on even footing. There's less of a chance of, a year from then when you're doing your evaluation, there's something where it's, oh, well, we really wanted you to do this, but we never actually really said that we wanted you to do this because we're helping kind of facilitate that conversation. And we found that it really can help with your evaluation, with picking goals for your superintendent, helps kind of guide your evaluation. And again, it just helps you all get on some even footing and know what to expect from one another. So that's the quick version of our superintendent search, but we really are just here. We want to make sure that we are assisting you in whatever way we can. Even if you were to pick option 1 of this search, when you're done, we're not just going to disappear into the void and never talk to you again. If you have questions going through the rest of your search, we're just a phone call away. I live in Caldwell, so I'm very close to the district and I'm happy. I'm just right down the street, so I can come to whatever you need me to, and I will be at whatever board meetings I can. So what we really are is just a resource for you to help you feel confident and comfortable in hiring your next superintendent.
Okay. You?
Okay, questions from the board?
Chairman Manning.
Mr. Robertson?
Katie, thank you for presenting again. I enjoyed your presentation last meeting, and I think this whole process would be very much simplified and helped by the ISBA. Because you didn't mention it tonight, for the two gentlemen that were not here, can you talk about the money that is rebated? I guess is that the best word? Something
Yes.
Refunded.
Thank you, Trustee Robinson. Yes, through the SDE, you do get continuous reimbursement funds. And so through your search process, you, depending on which option you pick, you do get some reimbursement for the search. So for option 1, you get up to $500 of reimbursement. And that is just because at that stage of the search process, there's not a lot of in-district training. We're not meeting with you a whole lot to do things. So it's just a little bit lower. But then we move on to option 2, which is the full search. We're in your district, attending a lot more board meetings, assisting you with open meeting law and hiring best practices throughout the search. And so because of that, you can get up to $2,000 of reimbursement. And then finally, for option 3, same thing, you can get up to $3,000 of reimbursement for your search. So.
Okay, so Chairman Manning, so what are the prices? I'm sure you
It's on the sheet.
I want to hear it from her.
Share it.
Okay.
Chairman Manning, if I may, I think you also have this kind of sample timeline in your packet. If not, I have copies. This just gives you an overview of what the typical search process kind of looks like if you were to do a full search from start to finish. Obviously, there's no solid dates on this right now, just because we haven't finalized anything or decided anything yet, but this gives you an idea of when you can expect to do things. I kind of base this based on when you might make a decision on your board meeting. Like I said, we work with you, we're on your timeline, so however long you want to keep the application open, I would recommend at least a month, but districts have done shorter than that. Districts have done much longer than that. So again, it's up to you, but this kind of just gives you an idea of what you should expect at each step of the way, and then what ISBA kind of helps with. It gives you just a little bit more in depth.
Okay. But that's not set in concrete. I mean, we can move the dates if we wanted to. if we-
Yeah,
That's-
absolutely. I like to keep this kind of a draft working document throughout the search process because things come up. You may decide that you want to leave the application open a bit longer, or maybe a meeting date that you had originally planned, it doesn't make sense anymore to have it that time. Or as you get further along into your search, when you get to like your semifinalist or finalist round, it's hard to be able to pick those dates, not knowing that it can be a while, first of all, and so schedules may not be able to be guessed by then. And additionally, it's just hard to guess what your candidate schedules may look like. So I tend to leave those ones open for the most important kind of dates that you want to really narrow down are when you want your application to open, when you want your application to close, and then just some generic timelines of what candidates can expect in terms of like when you might have a decision. It doesn't have to be like the exact date of your meeting, but like hopefully you plan to have something by March or April, whenever you choose to do that, and put that on a timeline, because when we create our brochure, we'll put that timeline there so that they know what they can expect from you in terms of when they might hear from you, just because some of them may be waiting to sign contracts until they complete their interviews and hear from the board. So this just helps give them an idea, and it also helps give your community an idea of how the search is going, what the search is doing, and it just creates a lot of transparency there.
Okay. And one last question, Chairman Manning. So where's the job posting listed? I mean, is it just newspapers, or where do you got a secret place that
Yeah.
you go, or?
Absolutely. We post it in quite a few different places. So it's posted on ISBA's website on our superintendent search page, and we have quite a bit of traffic there. I like to call it the search season because it really is in Idaho a season. It starts about November and goes until about May is when most people are looking. So during that time period, we have a lot of traffic to that page. People know to go and look there. It's also posted on your district's website. So once the application opens, I will share it with whoever is in charge of updating the website, and make sure that gets added there. And then we share it on social media. And then it's also shared through our application platform that we use. This platform was created by the Ohio School Boards Association, and most other school boards associations across the country that do superintendent searches also use this platform.
Okay.
And so
It's nationwide.
yes.
Okay.
Yep. And then we also share to our national, or our COSBA is what it's called. It's the Consortium of School Boards Associations. And I have a work-alike group that I share it with. So it's shared out there. And then we have an email of about 3,500 folks from all over the country that I will email at least once a month. In the real heat of the search season, they probably get pretty tired of hearing from me, but I get a lot of people from all over the country that really enjoy seeing what is open in Idaho. So
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Chairman Manning,
Trustee Butler.
question. So Katie, thanks for coming and presenting again. I'm curious you've talked a lot about the search. In terms of like the interview process and all of that, I would imagine, and this is assumption that we would create some kind of hiring committee. And so how do you work with that committee, and the board, and kind of how does that kind of dovetail together?
yeah, that's a great question. So I will say typically we don't recommend a hiring committee. Instead, what we recommend is that the board offers a lot of opportunities for your community and staff to get involved through surveys, meet and greets, things like that. And the reasoning behind this is that the superintendent is the one sole employee typically, unless the board clerk is hired by the board as well, that the board is responsible for. And so ultimately, the decision comes down to the board. And so what we've seen is that when boards involve hiring committees, though it's under good pretenses and I understand kind of why people want to do it. What happens is that we tend to see candidates that feel less comfortable being candid with the board and the committee, maybe because they're an in-district candidate and their peers are sitting on the committee and they don't feel like they can be honest, or it opens the opportunity for confidentiality to be breached. That being said, it's not like I wouldn't work with a board who wanted to do that, and I have done that before. It's the same process. I will do everything the same as I would do if it was just you as the board. But at the end of the day, every time the board is making a decision on who to move forward to the next round, it's a board decision, not a committee decision. And so that's why we recommend that. But like I said, I've worked with committees before and it's gone really well. But those are just some hesitations we've seen and had. And so we typically do recommend that it's a board focused mission and that the board just offers a lot of opportunities for community involvement. And I've done the gamut of community involvement. We've done as simple as just one big community staff. Everyone who wants to comes and hears from the candidates, to as narrow as the candidate meets almost every single person in the district admin, custodians, transportation, and we have those short meetings with them and it's almost like interviews, but they provide feedback cards to the board and then the board reviews them. So I'm happy to work with you in whatever way you feel is the best fit for your district. I won't shut you down and say I can't work with you. If you want to do a committee, I'm happy to do that as well, but that's just our recommendation there.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions from the trustees? This is an action item, so if there are no questions, I would take a motion.
Chairman Manning.
Trustee Roberts.
I move that we hire the ISBA search service, superintendent search service for our superintendent search. And I move that we accept the option 3.
Okay, motion by trustee Robertson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed? Okay, looks like we got the full meal deal.
Wonderful.
Katie, appreciate
I
it.
will be emailing you probably tomorrow with next steps and how to get started. So I look forward to working with you all.
I
Thank
think
you
we
very-
probably would want to meet with you in October at our board workshop, if possible, which is 2 weeks from tonight. So I don't know if that's available. You can look at your calendar and see.
27.
So I think I should be able to make that, but let me check my
Yeah,
calendar.
okay. Yeah, let us know. if
Got you
can.
on the number 3, so you better be here.
I should be able.
Okay.
All right, great, thank you. All right,
School district.
Caldwell School District Naming Committee, Dr. French.
Yep, Chairman, my name trustees, this is information only as you you may remember, or recall at the end of the last school year, beginning of this, when we talked about the fact that we've made some changes. Canyon Springs is now at 1502 Fillmore Street. We have this building, which has now become a board. It's our boardroom. And then the district office have moved to Lincoln Elementary. And so we have put together, or I have put together a naming committee, and the group of individuals who have volunteered to be a part of it, I listed for you on your board packet. And our goal is to meet October 22nd, and just discuss those 3 buildings and the naming of those 3 buildings. And I would say they may or may not change, but at this point, the committee will meet, and then we'll bring a recommendation to the board, probably, I'm hoping for the November meeting.
Okay. Any questions from the trustees? All right, thanks, Dr. French, appreciate it. Future agenda items, trustees, do you have any recommendations? Sir. Okay. All right, we move on to policy development, first reading, Dr. French.
Chairman, my name trustees, sorry, apologize. For our first meeting, or excuse me, first reading, we have policy 2320, health education. It's a recommended update from ISBA. We are recommending a title change to health, family life, sex education, and human sexuality. In addition, we have the procedure, policy 2320P, and this will include the parent complaint procedure, and then the parent permission form for sex education. It would replace 2340F1.
Trustees, any comments or questions? Okay, I would take a motion this time for the first reading.
Chairman Manning, I move to approve and accept first reading of policy 2320, policy 2320P, and policy 2320F.
A motion by trustee Butler. Do I have a second?
Second.
Trustee Gardini, a second. Any further comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Second reading, Dr. French.
Yes, Chairman Manning, trustees, we have policy 2340, controversial issues, and policy 5275, personal conduct, which would replace policy 419.
Okay, questions, comments from the trustees? I'll take a motion at this time.
Chairman Manning, I'd like to make a motion to approve and accept policy 2340 and policy 5275.
A motion by trustee Butler. Do we have a second? I'm trustee Godina. The other trustee Butler.
You have the same hairstyle, I know.
That's right.
Trustee Godina with the motion and trustee Robertson with the second, I believe. Any further discussion on the second and final reading? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Upcoming events. I don't know that I have the right thing. Is there any upcoming events we need to read?
We're going to executive.
Oh, thank you. Right. We are moving into executive session, or need to. So I would take a motion by one of the trustees.
Chairman Manning, I move to enter into executive session per Idaho Code 74-2061B to consider the evaluation, dismissal, or disciplining of, or to hear complaints or charges brought against a public officer, employee, staff member, individual agent, or public school student regarding employee number 2025-08-25, employee 2025-10-13A, employee 2025-10-13B, and employee 2025-10-13C.
Okay. At this time, Madam Clerk, would you call the roll? I guess we need a second that way. Do we have a
Second.
second? Trustee Godina with second, trustee Butler with the motion, and then Madam Clerk.
Trustee Trish Robertson,
Yes.
Vice Chair Maricela Pesina, Chairman Travis Manning,
Yes.
Trustee Manuel Godina,
Yes.
Trustee Andrew Butler.
Yes.
All right. We are in executive session. Okay, we're coming out of executive session. Do we have a motion?
Chairman Manning, coming out of executive session per Idaho Code 74-2061B to consider the evaluation, dismissal, or disciplining of, or to hear complaints or charges brought against a public officer, employee, staff member, individual agent, or public school student. Chairman Manning, I move to approve the district's recommendation for employee 2025-08-25 to release from contract, for employee 2025-10-13A for administrative leave, employee 2025-10-13B for administrative leave, and employee 2025-10-13C was information only.
Okay. All right, motion by trustee Butler. Do we have a second?
Second.
Trustee Godina with second. We do have to vote, or do we just individually? I can't remember.
Individual.
Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Trustee Trish Robertson,
Yes.
Vice Chair Maricela Pesina, Chairman Travis Manning,
Yes.
Trustee Manuel Godina,
Yes.
Trustee Andrew Butler.
Yes.
Okay. Information only, we have coming up. Just triple checking here. On October 17th, 2025, non-directed day, no school, staff are in school, but no students, I believe, Friday. October 27, 2025, board work session. October 27th through October 31st, parent-teacher conferences. October 31st, non-directed day, no school. November 4th is election day, Tuesday, November 4th. November 11th through 14th is the ISB annual convention in Coeur d'Alene. And with that, I would take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion by trustee Godina, second by trustee Butler. We are, I guess we have to vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.